Many thanks for your company. Welcome back. Now, traders who ply their trade in the Central Business District of Kumasi have been given 1 week ultimatum to move into their shops at the newly constructed Ketia Market or forfeit them. Commencement of work on the second phase of the project has delayed as traders remain reluctant to vacate the old market despite acquiring shops at the new facility. City authorities, however, say the latest ultimatum is the final bid to force the traders out.
In this tailoring shop, Kofi and his friends are some of the people who were moved to the Ketia market late last year. After 2 weeks, they returned to the old market on grounds businesses were slow at the new location. They blame their colleagues who refused to join them at the new market for the development. The clients have refused to come there because some tailors are reluctant to join us, and we have little option. They should force all would-be occupiers to the market, else businesses will be slow, and there aren't few joints. The eviction exercise, scheduled for Christmas, was postponed because of the festivities. Lack of space and delayed allocation documents are among the challenges traders cite for their reluctance to move. Authorities assure the traders all outstanding issues will be resolved to allow for smooth relocation. Emmanuel Danso is consultant to the Brazilian construction firm for the project, contractor.
And this time around, we decided to move to the ground to know what is actually happening so that we can deal with the situation. It's long overdue, and we believe we'll have to speed up. With the consent of the mayor and all the committee that are involved, we need to finish this process within this week. Government funding always attracts interest and other stuff. And we are ready. Contractor is ready to work as early as possible. It's difficult for somebody who has lived in a place for about 50, 60 years to move within a week or two or other. But for us, we feel everybody is being satisfied. The place that they are going to work is a very conducive area, good atmosphere, good environment and this. But you can see the comfort zone always speaks for them. So the place is set for them to come in.
And still in the Ashanti region, businesses in the region are exploring ways to take advantage of the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. The agreement is scheduled to come into force from the beginning of this year. Founder of Corporate Vision Consults, Charles Appiah, says because the agreement will thrive on production, local businesses must channel their energies into production. This came up at a meeting that brought together businesses in the region. Prince Appiah has more.
The business community in Ashanti region have begun engaging among themselves on how to explore ways to increase their production and leverage on the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement Secretariat been established in Ghana. At the third edition of the Ashanti Business Executive Cocktail event, founder of Corporate Vision Consult, Charles Appiah, explained the need for this move.
To find solutions to some of these things and see how best typical businesses in Kumasi will take a new turn and be productive and be relevant to the economic growth so far as Ghana is concerned. When you brand what we do well, it attracts foreign investment. People want to put their money in it. So basically it's about people appreciating that to be internationally acceptable as a business person, one, you should learn how to market your products.
The annual event by Corporate Visions Consult is under the theme Rebranding Ashanti Region as a Hub of Industrial Transformation. Charles Appiah is positive it will set the tone for investment opportunities to be explored in the region.
So we want to adapt new best business practices. And when that is done, it embodies you as a business person to know where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, the opportunities are available, the threat that also your business exposes to your business. If you're able to do that, you know what measures you can take to mitigate and take advantage of the opportunity. So Ashanti region is the best place to do business as people are poised We are getting there 2020 after. We're going to see more of our businesses from our Ashanti region taking the center stage.
Various stakeholders, including the Association of Ghana Industries, the Bono and Ashanti units, the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and the National Association of Poultry Farmers in the region.
The succession planning shouldn't necessarily be with your children. Partner with them so that you can leave a legacy behind. Your children can succeed you, but they must have the interest first. If the person doesn't have that interest, the person can never ever be able to run the business you have run.
Ashanti, we still have all the resources and so many things in place. We just need to strategize very well, put ourselves together, help us, revive the spirit, the real Ashanti spirit. I mean, farming, our gold sector, our timber sector, our, so many things. I mean, mining, all these things we need to concentrate on. We need support, the supports that we need. And also we need to package ourselves very well. And so what they have to assess, for when it comes to assessing facilities, it becomes a big problem for them.
The engagement between the business leaders in the Ashanti region are expected to continue until an agreeable direction is met. Prince Apia reporting.
And back in Accra, Managing Director of the state-owned aluminum smelting company Aluworks, Kwesi Okon, is making a case for the Ghana International Trade Commission to impose counter-tariffs on cheaper aluminum imports from China and other parts of the world, which find themselves on the Ghanaian market. According to him, most of the products are earmarked for transit into neighboring Burkina Faso and Togo, but eventually enter the local market at cheaper rates, competing unfairly with products from Aluworks. He was making a presentation to the International Trade Commission at his hearing in Accra. Ebenezer Sabuti has more in this report.
Aluworks is alleging that the importation of subsidized aluminium to Ghana is competing unfairly with locally manufactured products. The situation has resulted in a significant reduction of its production capacity from more than 1,000 metric tons per month to less than 100 tons. According to the company, the situation is reducing employment levels. Here is the managing director, Kwesi Okon, lamenting to Joy Business.
Far lower than our price, which means that any businessman who, as I showed you, he's getting that price, why would he buy from us? And they're killing us. Yeah. So we have to complain.
But some think you are not competitive enough.
How do you be competitive if somebody is selling below you and you can't sell? If you produce and it's sitting there, nobody's buying it, are you competitive or not? The price they are selling at is below us. What is competition again? They are below us.
But beyond that, there are challenges to the company, like Dr. Asaria J indicated.
Don't mind Dr. Asaria J. He's a bit confused. He used to work for me. He was a factory hand or something. He has no idea what he's talking about. A factory runs on turnover and cash flow. Yes? So you get metal or whatever it is you're going to do, you produce, you sell, you get money, you do the cycle again. You understand? If you do it and the money doesn't come, what do you do?
He further accused the managing director of Asatec Limited, who is also the former president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. James Asaria J., of also indulging in the nefarious activity.
Mr. Asaria J. trying to influence the JITC because he is an importer. He's using the rebate he's getting from China to destabilize Togo and Benin. He's making a lot of money. My customers in Benin tell me, oh, Asatec has come and sold me at this price. My customer in Togo says, oh, Asatec has been here. He sold me at this price. That impossible price. So I know if JITC gives a ruling, it will spoil that business. That's the motivation. That's the motivation. And I wasn't going to say anything, but because he went on to town, I decided to expose him.
Executive Secretary of the Ghana International Trade Commission, Frank Ajekum, says the commission, after receiving the petition, will make a recommendation to government.
If it's in case of dumping, in fact, if you realize that within a certain period of time, a certain product has been dumped overly, is imported overly into Ghana, you want to ask why, which makes our products uncompetitive, then the government will want to raise a quota and say that, look, from now to go, we can only accommodate so much from this quota. So all these things, as I said, are going to WTO regulations, which all countries have signed up to, and which we are only taking advantage of, as other countries have done. Bigger countries, smaller countries, and so we are also beginning to take advantage of that. It only tells you that this government wants Ghanaians to be respected, Ghana to be treated as a country, a sovereign country, in its own right. We just don't take us for granted, because if you are coming to do business with us, you have to obey our laws.
The Ghana International Trade Commission is an internal body that adjudicates on the rules and regulations of the World Trade Organization.
Now, some trade experts are making a strong case for ECOWAS to abolish plans to issue a single currency, the ECO. The economic grouping last year proposed January 2020 to gradually roll out the common currency. However, 10 days into the new year, the required preconditions needed to aid the currency issue are yet to be established. Speaking on Business Edition of PM Express on Multi TV, President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, made a case for the currency introduction, looking at the challenges traders are currently going through.
Enormous benefits to be achieved in this. I've enumerated some of them, and so there's no doubt about that. But if it should be done, it should be done well. Sacrifices are not sustainable. How long can a country sacrifice for others? We sign treaties, protocols, and we do some of these.
But Germany has done that for the euro. The economic, some would say that Germany is the backbone of the European Union.
Yeah, if we have countries, but we haven't heard Germany bullying its neighbors, but we have antecedents of bullying this thing from other countries. And so it's due to what the country itself is prepared to do. If Germany has been able to do it, doesn't mean that other countries can also sacrifice. Looking at where we are coming from, the challenges that we have as developing country, no other country can toy its economy with any sacrifice for other countries. And we should, to tell the truth, if we have to do, all countries should come on board on equal footing. That's the only way.
But you don't expect Nigeria, that commands about 70% of the total size of that region, to be rubbing shoulders with Benin.
No, but Benin, whatever its economy is, should be able to meet this convergence. It's not the same as Nigeria.
Also on the same program, finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Lord Mensah, argued Nigeria may have to take the lead in supporting the currency issue with its foreign reserves.
Realizing that in this country, we're not. So what I would say is that once they are going to meet, I made it clear in my earlier submission that they should think about other countries sacrificing, because we cannot all converge at one point, or we cannot all converge to those criteria that they are looking for us to enjoy the equal. So countries need to sacrifice clearly for others to benefit, because that is what happened in the Eurozone. Within the Eurozone, Germany had to sacrifice a lot, for other countries. Most of the time they were going into the Euro, Italy was nothing to write about. Greece was nothing to write about. But in the end, they came together. And now the economic benefit is enormous, to the extent that even UK going out as a result of Brexit is thinking otherwise. How the impact will be, even though they were not completely part of the Eurozone and they were not enjoying the eco, they were still enjoying some economic spillovers as a result of the Eurozone. Because once you get into that environment, transactions, free movement, everything that you do becomes so simple and easy because currencies are the same. So for me, I think if they are going to meet, my advice would be that they should think about sacrificing and forget about that convergent criteria. Once we come close, various countries come close to one or two of those criteria, we should converge. I think we're going to dictate a lot to the world, and in the end, we're going to have very good bargaining power.
Now, over 40 investors across the world are expected in Ghana to explore business opportunities in the sector, in the agri sector, This was disclosed at the media launch of the Agritech West Africa 2020 conference in Accra. Local stakeholders were asked to consider coming up with innovative policies to improve the competitiveness of the sector. There's more in this report.
Over 40 investors across the world are expected in Ghana to explore opportunities in the agri sector. This was made known at the media launch of the Agritech West Africa 2020 conference in Accra, where stakeholders in Ghana's agri sector have been urged to introduce some innovative policies to stay competitive. Dominic Oduro-Enchu is president of the Ghana-Indian Trade Advisory Chamber.
We need to step up our game. I mean, for instance, we still use cutlass in weeding, go to the farms. We have to be able to have a technology where something can replace something like even a cutlass. And we should also let the farmers see, benefit properly, not just, taking produce from them and we give them something little. Ghana needs to move from the states in the agri sector to a higher state. You talk about Kenya, you talk about Rwanda. Sometimes you have to move from your comfort zone. And as we say, a change is difficult, but it brings progress. So Ghana needs to step up its game. We believe that our targets will be met, and then our objective will also be realized. One, we need to be able to step up. Whatever we started today, we're going to keep it up till June, and then it's not just for this year. Next year, we have something else coming in.
Meanwhile, Director of Agritech West Africa, Thomas James, has called for some policy framework to facelift Ghana's mechanized farming practices.
What change or innovation that has to be brought in is that sourcing of agro-mechanization for agro-mechanization employment in the agriculture practices. For that, the government can definitely make some efforts like encouraging more of agro-mechanization at the farmer level, having a local government support atmosphere being arranged so that more of the farmers, whether it be subsistence farming or for the contract farming or plantation type farming, more of agro-mechanization and agrochemicals can be used at a sustainable level so that the agro production can be enhanced in a proper way, having with the momentum. In countries like India or Africa, in India and even in Europe and America, so what the governments have experimented is giving subsidy directly to the farmers for their sourcing of machineries or agro requirements, etc. So that is something that you can have it here in Ghana also, and even they can source it directly from the producers of agri-technology, and then they can distribute it to the farmers.
Experts say rising food demand requires innovation in agricultural practice, hence the need to be innovative. Agriculture contributes 20% of Ghana's GDP. So far, Ghana has 5 agroeconomic regions allowing for dynamic agriculture. To this end, the Agritech Expo is connected and aim to establish partnership with business counterparts in Ghana and in neighboring countries.
Now, Graduate Students Association of Ghana, GRASAC, is embarking on a climate change awareness program among students at the pre-tertiary level. Under an initiative dubbed GRASAC Green Ghana, children will be mobilized to plant 1,500 trees across the country. President of the association, Samuel Sego, says students groups will be assigned to specific areas to nurture the trees to survive. Nana Ojima has more in this report.
Current rate of forest depletion stands annually at 2% of Ghana's remaining 1.6 million hectares of forest cover. Illegal logging and mining are major contributing factors. Ghana and other West African countries are prone to drought and floods with devastating impact on food production. GRASAC says the initiative, in partnership with the Forestry Commission, is to augment government interventions. Mr. Segu says such efforts are critical in addressing a major global threat to human survival.
The intention is that we want to, by the end of the administration, plant at least 1,000 trees and at most 2,000 trees with the support of young ones from the secondary school level. So we are going to visit the secondary schools and recruit tree planters, and we will encourage them not just to plant but also care for the trees. But the problem that we see now is that even when we embark on tree planting exercise as a country, we leave the trees, the saplings alone, and they just die out. But we are going to care for them. So you have to name the tree that you plant. Then it becomes your own. Then you have to nurture it to grow. And let the kids understand that if the tree dies, it means that they are dying. So they should not just plant and leave it to die.
The project, which launches next month, will include the Forestry Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency. Mr. Sego explains expected long-term impact of the project.
So the effort really is that going forward, when they all come on board, we'll be able to do a rather more nationwide campaign that will be sustained in the coming years.
Meanwhile, GASAG has taken its humanitarian gesture to King Jesus Charity and Rema Kumasi Children's Home with a donation of food items.
Help will, because some of the staff, maybe they will use some, like their breakfast, they can have some meal or things to do, to take. It will help. Every item that they brought will really help us, and we thank them so much.
If you say, any Semranti and Maba was a young Mako, and Nimu. Now, one was sad that you have a trifia habes, a dorry back on if I could or you because in Mumaya, they can say, Eddie Amay. Yeniaji Hopa,
Now, Country Director of Jumo, Arnold Kavarpo, the technology service providers for MTN Quick Loan, is urging subscribers of the service to duly redeem their indebtedness to continue to maintain a good credit record. Speaking to Joy Business, the country director said he believes the positives of the service has driven the financial inclusion agenda of government by making loans readily available to many people who did not initially have bank accounts.
Of MTN Quick Loan started in April 2017 on the platform of Jumo Technology through the use of artificial intelligence with finance house Lechago as the lending partner. Jumo is a technology service provider which had its license from the Bank of Ghana and categorized as payment service provider. The service, which many subscribers tout as a redeemer in times of emergency, has offered over 4.6 billion Ghana cedi credit.
I used to accept offers. 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 Offers.
Well, on that note, we wrap up this afternoon's edition of The Marketplace. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji. We have to enjoy the weekend.